recording should be live. Okay, so welcome back, guys. This is our 12th, probably actually our 13th session. I don't really have much in the way of announcements other than to preemptively apologize for any dog noises that seep through the microphone. I do have company in town, and my dog has been very talkative lately. So again, apologies if it comes through. Other than that, I think we're ready for the captain's log.
Anything else before that?
Well, yeah, I guess that is a good thing. So, is there any last minute type RP or any last minute type information you want to know before the captain's log and the senior staff meeting? And this is open to anyone.
How soon is this staff meeting after what we did with Haru?
This will be approximately 1 week.
So we had a 1 week's time? Okay.
It's been 1 week since you... Never mind, sorry.
I do have one question.
Okay.
I want to have at least had a chance to talk to the three Chameloids and find out who among them wants to stay on the ship.
Okay.
Is it all of them? Is it...
I think all of them are more or less yes. The only quote-unquote iffy is Ensign Reeve, and as I'll let Crowley describe during his notes, if he stays on board, he basically wants to be put somewhere different, but I'll let Crowley go into more detail about that later.
That sounds great.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you got it.
A little bit of an out of character thing. I'll have to bounce just a little early today, at probably 5:15.
Okay.
Since my younger sister has a choir concert, and I really haven't been to a lot of those yet, so I should probably go tonight.
Oh yeah, go enjoy that. No problem.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
is that 5:15 Central Time?
Eastern, so before 15 your time.
Okay.
So I got you for 2 hours. Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Okay, I think we are ready for the captain's log now.
All right. Captain's log, stardate 48639.3. The Arcadia has been successfully coated in chromium-50. Though we have yet to fly her into a full-on eddy, initial reports indicate we have much less to worry about from the naturally occurring detrimental phenomenon within the Shackleton expanse. With the discovery of 3 Chameloids among my crew, we have spent the last week gathering information and deliberating what to do about this discovery. To that end, I have called a meeting of my senior staff. Whatever we decide, we will have the full support of Admiral Haru, and the USS Bellerophon is in the area for a few days should any Chameloids be removed from the Arcadia. After that, I have scheduled some R&R for the senior staff aboard the holodeck.
All right, very good. And as the captain has said, you all have gathered in the senior staff room. And obviously Dore will be there and filling in for Ujesa, or Sin, as you now know her, is Lieutenant Soril. He's serving as the quote-unquote tactical officer for the time being. But other than that, I'm going to actually mute myself so I can chow down a little bit, and I'm going to let you guys run your own meeting.
All right.
Well, Captain, I've interacted with the Chameloids since we spoke with Haru. Did a one-on-one meeting, and I took notes. I believe it'll be in the best interest to allow him to stay. Ensign Reeve wants to be transferred out from engineering. He has an interest in xenobiology. It was something he enjoyed at the academy, and as Lieutenant Dore knows, I picked up some books and some required reading on xenobiology to give to Reeve. I think their nature, their habits, their customs, they don't understand why we're reacting the way we are, which, well, they have an idea, but in some ways they're also very worried about how we're going to view them from now on. I know you wanted the idea of us, saying that Ujesa down in combat and needs a new transfers. I think it's better for the crew to know.
I agree. I believe that our crew should know exactly what's going on. Crowley, you know better than I. Do we have the resources to transfer Reeve away from engineering? Will we need to request a replacement from the Bellerophon?
As far as I can see, should be okay, but we can't stop with the Bellerophon for some resupplies, though. We do need some new goodies, as it were.
Fair enough. I'd like to hear from the rest of my senior staff as well. What has the reaction from the crew been so far?
I can't remember how much we actually know about that out of character.
I mean, you, especially as the ship's counselor, will know a
Yeah.
fair bit. And I'll say that the general feeling aboard the ship is some form of anticipation. Basically, again, since this is such a small ship, secrets don't really stay secrets for very long.
Right.
So the crew is probably already aware that there are Chameloids aboard, but they're just kind of waiting and seeing what the captain and the rest of the senior staff do with them at this point.
Right. Okay.
And you
So
can,
basically, they're waiting they're just waiting in anticipation of our next move.
pretty much, yeah. And you can feel free to fluff more if you'd like, but that's the general gist.
Right.
Test. Sound good?
Yeah.
No, Crowley, you're still kind of quiet.
I'm at 120%.
Oh,
Can you
jeez.
go higher?
Can.
Yeah, I've cranked Crowley as far as I can on my end.
Same.
Low test? Am I sounding better?
A little bit.
I'm at 200%. I'm gonna reboot Discord.
Okay, let's do that and see if that fixes anything.
Okay.
Right. Just in case, I'm going to put him back to 100 when he comes back because...
Yeah.
No, I for
That's
one
smart.
enjoy when my ears get blown out. It's a fun activity.
Oh, that's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah, for like 5 years of drumline, I don't mess around with my ears anymore.
That doesn't sound like a fun time for your ears, at least.
It goes numb after a while.
Oh, lovely.
I
You can rate that
exaggerate a
full
little.
range, right?
What?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Hello?
Hi.
Sound better?
Seems like-
Sound the same?
About the same.
Yeah.
You're audible though. We can work with it.
Yeah, we can work with it. Anyways, Nolan, I think you were about to say something.
Yes, adding on to what Commander Crowley said, I did have Admiral Haru's people go back through all three of the Chameloid service records, and despite many opportunities to falsify information or let it out, really, there's been no trace of that, to say the least.
Well, I am having not found anything too disconcerting in the records. I'm willing to keep them on our ship at the very least provisionally, if not entirely. You had mentioned, Crowley, the possibility of forging Sergeant Ujace's death. That is not something I consider lightly, and I'm inclined not to go that route. I feel like in the long term, lying to the Klingon government would be unwise.
Actually, I may have something that can help with this. Side
Please
note,
share.
Jim, did I talk to Jessa about this?
Yes, she would have been, if you're about to say what I think you're about to say, she did tell you about this.
Okay, cool. We have a way to let her house know what happened. Very secretly. And they will take care of everything else.
I'm intrigued. What does this mean for us?
All you have to do is send a message to them with a few phrases, and they will know the message, the meaning of it.
Does that mean we still have Sergeant Ujesa on board our ship, or do we now have Sin?
Sergeant Ujesa would no longer be categorized aboard the ship, but
I see.
there would be no reaction from the house. In fact, the rest of the house, if not all of it, is very similar to what Sin is.
I see. Very well. If that's what she's agreed to, then I'm on board.
There is a matter of them. They did lie. They did falsify the records. And due to the revelation of what they are, I do think that some form of disciplinary action needs to be done. I believe 3 to 6 months of rank reduction, probation, as it were.
Well, that's interesting. Sin doesn't have a rank within Starfleet.
Well, I believe Haru was open to the idea of a field commission.
As am I. We could commission her as an enlisted officer.
Yep.
So, go ahead.
As for Reeve and Tara, they did go to the academy. They are officers. We can't reduce them below ensign, but a formal reprimand is probably in play, is probably deserved.
If I might interject for a moment, Captain.
Please.
There is one example of a shape-shifting race serving in Starfleet. If you know about I believe he doesn't actually have a rank, but they refer to him as Constable Odo. He is the chief security officer over at the Deep Space Nine station.
It is my understanding he is a Bajoran officer.
Out of character, do we know that he's a changeling right now?
Oh yeah, you know, and
Okay.
it's kind of up in the air. I mean, technically he is a Bajoran security officer, but we see many times during DS9 where Odo specifically reports to Captain Sisko or Commander Sisko, depending on his rank, and I'd say that Starfleet has some say or sway over him, but I don't think he is like Kira Nerys, who actually ends up with a Starfleet rank after a few months. Excuse me, kind of a thing.
From my understanding, is Odo is responsible for security station, not relevant to Starfleet. But anything Starfleet-wise, then he has no say. It's typically Michael Eddington, I believe it was.
Keyword was.
Yeah, it was.
Then I think it went to... It got shifted around. They kind of dropped that whole subplot.
Yeah, they kind of did. But, you know, Nalan, you're close enough to the truth that we know what you mean.
Okay. Gotcha.
But as for the falsification of a species for application, this is not the first time. We do know there is one young Romulan officer aboard the Enterprise right now.
Well, he was stripped of his rank, sir.
Well, yes.
After that trial, it's unfortunate that he falsified his records. And you can see that Richaud is actually pretty passionate about this subject as somebody who did not falsify his records.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand the impulse to want to cover up something that you think might prevent yourself from being accepted in Starfleet, but that individual on the Enterprise was stripped of his rank, and I just want to register my formal disagreement with keeping the Chameloids on board. Obviously, I will go with whatever the senior staff decides, but if we're throwing our opinions out there, I don't think they should be in Starfleet. I don't think they should be aboard the ship, and that's where I stand.
No, I'm glad you voiced your opinion. It would be much worse if you felt that way and you didn't tell us.
So now that I'm finished
Unfortunately,
eating, go ahead.
on a crew as small as ours, I don't feel comfortable getting rid of 3 qualified officers. We don't.
Well, 2 qualified officers in Reeve. Rochelle will immediately look abashed for being shitty, but,
Well, since Matic isn't here, he'll kind of nod in agreement with the whole Reeve putting down.
Nevertheless, capable officers. We don't have an infinite resource of crewmen aboard the Arcadia. Everyone is needed. Sure, we could request replacements from the Bellerophon. And there should be consequences for their actions. I also agree. But everyone deserves a second chance. We've all made mistakes.
Well,
Understood, sir.
as I suggested, we could do the probationary period. Reeve he's interested in going to xenobology, as I said. We could see how he does there, find an appropriate department lead for him to report to, and I will make sure that I keep a very close eye on all 3 of them.
All right. Well,
they'll be my responsibility, my pet project.
okay, we'll have him transferred over to the science division. But yes, a probationary period is, I believe, in order, and we will. I will, however, be giving Sin the field rank of crewman.
Very good.
So, actually, I wanted to interject here. So, Nalan, I meant to tell you this before the meeting, but of course I was eating and didn't think of it. You actually, during your conversation with Admiral Haru, you were given what are essentially 2 envelopes. One of the envelopes is if the Chameloids are staying aboard the ship, and the other envelope is if you guys are kicking one or more off of the ship. And I would say you would have these on your person.
Okay.
And they are sealed letters, so you obviously don't know what's in them at this point.
Right. So from what I picked up, obviously, and I guess like Crowley would be the one to correct me, we're keeping all of them aboard on probation, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Then I'm going to pull out the sealed letter that has, do they say, like, whatever, like, open it, essentially open if you keep all of them aboard, or open if you kick one or more of them out?
They're marked in such a way you know which letter is which. But I don't think they overtly say,
right.
You know.
Okay.
Who are these letters from?
Admiral. Yeah. So I'm going to pull out the letter that we're supposed to open if we keep all of them aboard, and I explain. Depending on the outcome of this meeting, I was actually given 2 different letters from Admiral Haru. One of them we obviously don't have any need for, but this one we may need to check out. And then I, open it and then read whatever's in there.
All right, let me give you access. You're Spencer M. in Roll20, yes?
Correct.
All right, you should now see Admiral Haru's orders under your handouts.
Okay. Effective stardate 48639.0. The Chameloid known as Sin is hereby given a field commission of Lieutenant Junior grade. She will remain aboard the USS Arcadia until such a time that either her captain and or Starfleet intelligence deems it no longer necessary. In addition, all 3 Chameloids, Sin, Terra, and Reeve, shall be placed on a probationary period lasting a minimum of 3 months. During this time, if the captain deems their actions unsatisfactory, they may face the loss of their commissions. Finally, all crewmen aboard the Arcadia are henceforth ordered to maintain that Ujesa died in glorious combat.
So we're to lie as well?
According to Admiral Haru, we I guess we have to.
Counselor, let's hold off on delivering that news to the rest of the crew. I'm going to speak with the Admiral.
Understandable.
I think she can be persuaded of what we've decided here today.
Okay.
I'll give the captain the pad of the letter that me and Lugisa worked on for her house, so he can peruse it.
All right. I assume it says basically what we know.
Yeah, she fought, 15 giant dudes, kept hacking away at their ankle bones and stuff like that. glorious combat. But it has a few phrases in there too.
Oh, I see. That the secret message is part of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Very well. Is there anything else that anyone would like to address before we break?
Matic will speak up, and I'll do this for him since he isn't here. He kind of says, Captain, I kind of agree with Rochelle on this one. I don't really feel that Reeve should be remaining on the ship, but if you're going to transfer him out of my department, I'm completely on board with that. I guess as a point of order, his work has held up. The worst thing that I was able to find, and I spent a long time checking all of his work. The most worrisome thing I could find was an ODN line that was wrongly calibrated, and it was an easy fix.
Well, we do have 3 months. If he doesn't improve, we can ship him out.
Agreed. Okay, then, if that's all, Crowley, I'd like to keep you behind while we call the Admiral.
Very well.
Actually, sir, I did have one other thing.
Yes, please.
I've been going over the data we received from Yahokoto on the planet where we applied the chromium 50, and there's a lot of interesting information in there. One thing that specifically popped out at me is that there is a stable wormhole, according to that data, just a few sectors over. It might be something that we want to look at when we have the opportunity. After all, we are still a science vessel.
Absolutely. Let's make that our primary research goal.
I'd say let's prepare a Class 9 long-range multi-mission warp probe.
Yeah, I can certainly put that together.
Yes, please, when you have the free time, give me a mission plan.
Will do.
I'm very interested in that. That could be quite the game changer in the quadrant.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the data is fairly old, as I still haven't figured exactly how long his species lives. But if the wormhole remains stable, then it could open up all sorts of possibilities.
Absolutely, it is certainly worthy of research.
Also, just a side note: the chromium 50 does seem to be holding up. In fact, our sensor's resolution and range is even improved in the sector, which I'm pretty happy about.
Excellent. Let's once we've compiled more of our data, let's keep sharing that with Starfleet Corps of Engineers.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there anything else? All right, then you're dismissed.
All right.
So everyone except Crowley and Tahan leaves, yes?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
So
let me put everyone else on the GM layer. All right, so everyone but Crowley and Tahan, you filter out, and it is now just the captain and the commander left in the conference room.
So, Commander, my main concern is the brashness of this lie that the Admiral has suggested we tell. What are your thoughts?
She's Starfleet intelligence. She wants to have something to use. I don't believe she's looking at them entirely like this, but I think that she may be looking at the Chameloids as a instrument, an object, and I personally don't agree with that. They are people. And despite what happens, they're our people. They're aboard our ship. They're our crew, they're part of our family here. I think it'll be best to tell the crew honestly what's happening and let the Admiral know. I don't think there's going to be any mass hysteria aboard the ship. I don't think there's going to be a mutiny.
No. But it does appear that we are going to be required, when speaking with others outside the ship, that we will have to maintain this lie of Jace's death in glorious battle.
Well, that may be the case. And in one way, it's to maintain not just her cover, that she's a Chameloid, but it's also to maintain the cover of her house. She's informed me that her house is all Chameloid, serving within the Empire.
We certainly don't want to be disrupting the Klingons right now. Have they withdrawn from the Kidder Accords yet? That's not happened yet.
No, but that is coming up.
Okay. And I guess also the matter that the Admiral sees fit to give Jace an officer's rank.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think the Admiral, again, still sees her as valuable and useful. Ujasa does have a long service aboard the ship as the tactical officer and acting first officer. To throw that all away would be, well, not a wise decision, at the least. We should still look at what she's done in the past to know that she's comparable. She's capable of her
of course.
duties.
Sin or Jace's competence has never been in question. Alright, well, I think we've only got one small concern then. I'll begin the call, and I'll start the transmission to Admiral Haru aboard along a secure channel.
Okay.
I will put on my best Vulcan face and slowly raise an eyebrow looking at the monitor.
Okay. So I'll put Admiral Haru's token on there so we can all laugh at it again.
Just want to pet it!
So, after a few moments after the secure channel has been set in place, Admiral Haru comes up on the monitor, and she says, "Gentlemen, I trust you have some news for me."
Yes, we will be keeping all three Chameloids aboard the ship as on a probation. However, I will be informing my entire crew of the full story. And I trust that they will understand the need for secrecy. But I'm not going to have secrets of this magnitude between myself and my crew. Not on this.
Well, as captain, that is your prerogative. I just want it to be known in a very clear and concise way that if it ever comes out that one of your crewmen, quote-unquote, blabs the truth, then that crewman will be facing some rather intense scrutiny and possible punishment from Starfleet intelligence. I don't think I need to tell you that relations with the Klingons as of late have been tense. It's not something I can really go into detail at this moment, but Starfleet intelligence believes that something is coming. We don't know what, but a change is definitely in the works.
Well, Admiral, I have the full faith in my crew. We're a small ship, and we'll keep our lips shut.
Very good. Was there anything else you wish to inform me of?
Commander, do you have anything?
The house issue, which I was concerned about, her house may be retaliating if Ujasa had perished aboard a Federation vessel, shouldn't be an issue. Should be fine. We made sure that the report of Ujace's demise for the house fits all the criteria they need.
Excellent. And how do I want to say this? 1 second. She kind of nods and says, very good. Obviously, I don't know the details of this message yet. I would just ask that whatever message you do send is sent to my desk as well. That way, everyone in Starfleet Intelligence is made aware of the fact.
Well, Admiral, we are scheduled for a rendezvous shortly with the Bellerophon before it leaves the area, correct?
That is correct. The Bellerophon and I will be departing the area as of 200 hours, or 20 hours. 200 hours. I can do military time.
In that case, we can deliver that message to you in person before you leave.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, if you have any other concerns, please let me know. But other than that, I support your decision wholeheartedly.
Thank you, Admiral.
Admiral out. And the view screen just goes back to the standard Starfleet logo.
So I guess we have some holodeck time now. Commander, I'll see you there, and I'll leave you. I'll leave the office first, the conference room.
Okay. So I'm a bit of an impasse here because out of character, I have an idea of who I want to be your quote-unquote GM for the holodeck adventure, but I don't want to put anyone out. So I'll give you guys an option here. So initially, I thought that actually having Sin be your GM would be an interesting way of introducing quote-unquote different forms and how people react to you and stuff like that. But I don't want people like Rochelle to feel like they're being forced to deal with someone they obviously think doesn't belong on the ship, kind of a thing. The other option is, of course, Andromeda, the alien from the Andromeda Galaxy we all apparently know and love. She is, a solid choice, and I think Rochelle was going to bring along Lieutenant Dore, if that was the case. And then the third option is you guys could go with Chief Hailong. She's a bit of a wild card, but I think regardless of who you pick, you're going to have a good time. So kind of out of character, I'll let you guys decide that before I force an option on you.
Right. Realistic, I'm kind of down for any of those.
I go right now, I think, just with how everyone's aboard the ship. I think Sin would not be the ideal choice.
Right.
For just this session, maybe next time. Everyone will be more, like, hey, Sin, what's up?
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Andromeda, I don't know, that'll be weird because she may not get references and stuff like that.
But that's what might make it fun, though.
Yeah. It would just be funny to see Hailong try to be not a typical. I forgot what her species is called.
Serrato Draco. Yeah.
Serrato Draco. So, from everything I've heard, because the commander doesn't know what the holodeck adventure. He didn't, because there's no reports on it.
Right.
He's just heard tidbits here and there. It sounds like she would be very honorable, so if she's trying to step out of that, it'll be interesting to see how she acts.
Right.
I'd be interested in seeing Hailong. I put my vote towards Hailong.
Okay.
I'm gonna put my vote towards Andromeda.
Okay. Rochelle, Captain?
I think I've been convinced, listening to the others, that Hailong will be very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not concerned.
In that case, your GM will be Hailong. And my question will be, is anyone going to be coming as a supporting character instead of themselves?
I'll be going as myself.
Okay.
I'll probably go into them.
I'll go as Rochelle.
You go as Rochelle? Okay.
Sure.
Crowley will be Crowley.
Crowley will be Crowley. Excellent. And what we'll do, whenever Matic hopefully joins us, we'll smoothly try to transition him into the scene, as it were. So give me 1 second to get Rochelle on this page, and then I'll push you over. But to kind of let you know what how this works, so all of you will be told by the captain or Crowley that now that the quote-unquote heavy stuff has been dealt with, that they have extended an invitation to all of the senior staff to join them in some holodeck time. And you have the time between the meeting and the actual holodeck time to change out of your uniform into something more comfortable, to do something like, I don't know, contact someone not on the ship, anything of that nature. So is there anything like that I should be made aware of, or do we just want to skip ahead to the holodeck?
I want to say that the captain just told Crowley about the invitation. Didn't tell him any specifics. But
Okay.
I have an idea. I have a funny thing I want to do.
Okay.
So, first though, as after the meeting, after the captain leaves, I'm going to go and visit Sin
Okay.
and let her know that she needs to pack up out of that quarter. And she's taking my other quarter, so I'm now on deck 1.
Okay. So when you actually poke your head into her room, where she's pretty much been because you told her to stay there until, you guys made a decision, when the door opens, you'll see that everything in here has already been packed. Like, she knew this was coming.
I just give her a thumbs up. It's like, you're good. You're on probation. I gotta hurry, though. I'll tell you more details later.
Okay.
I give her 2 thumbs up, though.
Thank you. I appreciate it, sir.
I'll go run down to Tara.
Mm-hmm.
Tell her the same thing. She can stay in her quarters, though.
Okay.
But she basically give her a quick little brief summary, and I'll tell them I'll have a little meeting for them set up at some point with all 3 of them.
Okay.
And then the last one I go is tell Reeve on my way there, though, I replicate a science division uniform.
Okay.
And I open a door and I just hurl at him.
Here, take this, and then you run away.
Yeah.
No time to explain.
I like to imagine that some people have heard about the adventures that the crew had.
Mm-hmm.
So Crowley's been told a little piece of snippets. I'm going to go to my quarters and I'm going to get changed.
Okay. What are you changing into?
I want that to be revealed when I get to the holodeck.
Okay. So I'll put you guys on this map finally. So, you all arrive outside the holodeck at more or less the same time. And it's at this point that I'll let you guys describe any changes to your character that may have taken place.
So what are we doing that it would be appropriate to dress up as?
Well, you don't know. That's a bit of a mystery as of yet.
I've just shown up. Picard's got his captain's jacket uniform.
I do,
Hello?
yes. I had to remember.
I'm just doing that without the jacket, so I've just got the undershirt and the regular Starfleet pants.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have enough time to change into anything really crazy, so
Okay.
I just came like that.
Any other changes?
Shaw will be wearing his just standard workout gear.
Okay.
You know how Discovery has the disco shirts for their casual wear?
I do.
I think Arcadia could say "Game On" the shirt.
Sure, why not? That sounds like a fun bit of flavor.
So, Crowley shows up.
Oh God.
He is in what would be considered medieval style leather clothing, all black leather, multiple belts everywhere. He's had to reference the computer archives a few times. He kept getting results for something called Death Note and Bleach, so he tried to hodgepodge an outfit based on this. And he has a little half mini cape with a big feathery mane around the neck. He has like really heavy dark eyeliner too. He looks like an edgelord. He looks like a literal edgelord, and he's wearing a bunch of rings that, if he makes a fist, they look like knuckle dusters. Bunch of daggers going down his leg and stuff like that. He shows up and is like, "Oh, the crew mentioned. Oh, oh no!
So
I'm gonna be mad at Matic. Where is he?"
So it's actually about this time that Chief Hailong kind of rounds the corner, and you see that she's in something that is a bit less formal than her usual uniform. And she kind of walks up to you all and says, "Ah, good, you've made it on time. I think I have a really good holodeck program for you all." What the hell are you wearing, sir?
I thought it was an adventure type. This is what the computer recommended. I have lipstick on for this.
She just blinks very slowly at you, and she says, "Well, bit of good news, bad news. Good news is you'll be hidden for most of this behind a holographic character. Bad news, we might have to talk later about what you think Serato Dracos wear."
The computer was vague and gave me a bunch of anime suggestions.
Jesus Christ.
Looking good, Commander.
Hey, he has a good fitness score, so he should.
You know,
Well, if you four would join me inside. And Hailong steps up to the control panel, taps a few buttons. The computer, of course, says, "Enter when ready," and the doors open, and you see that right now the holodeck isn't on, but there is a table and a chair for Hailong. And there's also a little box on what is essentially a glorified nightstand in front of this desk. And in the in this kind of tray that is on top of the nightstand, there are a series of dice. And Hailong kind of walks over to the desk, sits down, pulls out a GM screen, puts it on, and she says, "So, I thought a little bit of unorthodox training might be in order. Something to mix it up and for you guys to explore a bit of an interesting side of yourselves. Today we will be playing a game that I believe is from ancient Earth, known as Honey Heist. And the way it works is all of you will become bears, actual Terran bears. And your job at the HoneyCon 2371, as it were, is to break into the honey vault and steal the honey."
interesting.
And she taps a button on the desk, and before each of you appear a grand total of 6 bears, or holographic representations of such.
Oh, bears! I thought something completely different. Okay.
So each of the bears is currently inanimate. It's not in motion, just a very static image. And she says, the way it works is each of you will come over and you will roll for which bear you will be taking the form of. Would anyone like to go first?
I'll go. I'll
okay.
go first.
Okay. So
I walk in,
Okay.
squeak, 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 squeak.
Oh God.
I'm going to take the panda.
Okay. Well, no, you have to roll for the dice. You got to
Oh,
roll
I
and
have
see
to
which bear
roll.
you get.
Oh no, man! I hope I get panda then. Just 1d6.
So it is actually 2d6 for this first roll. Okay, a 3.
Well, he's like 1 and 2.
Oh, it rolled together. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Crowley, as you roll, Hailong just kind of looks over her GM screen and says, well, this is interesting. Commander, you have rolled that you are a rookie polar bear.
It's all white. I'm all in black right now. This is okay.
All right, let me give you control of the polar bear. All right, you should now have control of the polar bear. Yeah. So, to give you guys just a bit of a primer as I give each of you your token, You do have the option to give yourself a quote-unquote in-character name if you so wish. And you should see 2 bars above your tokens. And Hailong will explain it in detail, but basically 1 bar is your bear and 1 bar is your criminal. But she'll explain that once everybody is in bear form.
Oh my god.
So Hailong just kind of looks at the remaining 3 of you and says, who would like to go next?
I'll go next. Why not?
Okay, here's
And
the dice. Best of
I just
luck.
remembered that I haven't been able to describe what I'm wearing yet.
Oh, go for it.
So I have a bit of a I guess like a funny thing planned as well. How many of you here has anyone here watched The Room at all?
Oh God.
Oh, hi, Mark.
So,
no!
Has anybody noticed how like Tommy Wiseau wears like the same outfit in every interview you see him in?
Right.
I'm going to be wearing that outfit.
God. This is a thing, and I approve.
There's my bear's name.
Oh God, Chad Crowbear. This is gonna be good.
So I just do like /roll 2d6.
Yeah, and it should roll it for each of us to do it. All
4 and a 1.
A 4 and a 1. So Hylan looks at the results and says, so interestingly, you are a unhinged grizzly bear.
Oh boy.
So, grizzly bear, and you are Spencer.
Yeah.
There you are. You now should have control over the grizzly bear.
Oh my god. I'm so excited right now.
Sorry, Jim. I forgot what was the first thing part of my bear? It was something polar bear?
You are a rookie polar bear.
Oh, okay. I'm a newbie.
Yes. Hylan looks to the captain and Rochelle and says, which one of you would like to go next?
Sure. Sure, we'll step forward.
Okay. A 6 and a 1. You'll have to re-roll the second die, but we can keep the 6. Simply because you're not supposed to have duplicate bears. All right, a 4. Hylan kind of laughs and says, well, this is interesting. Rochelle, you are apparently an incompetent black bear.
Sounds about right.
All right, let's see. You are Kyle in Roll20, yes?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, you should now have control over the black bear. And then finally, we come to the captain, and Hylan looks very expectantly to see what the captain rolls.
Hylan, where did you find this game?
Well, if you must know, during my few years at the academy, I actually was... all right, I played tabletop games. There, I said it.
I heard
Alright.
I played poker on the Enterprise. This seems equivalent.
Alright, I'll pick up the 2 dice, 1 in each hand, and I will roll them on the table.
Okay.
2 and 2.
You will have to re-roll the second 2.
Okay. Five.
5. She kind of laughs and says, well, sir, you are apparently a washed-up sun bear. And I'll give you control over that. You are Patrick W. All right, you now should have control over the sun bear token. And if Matic comes in, I thought I saw him online briefly. If he comes in, I'll just have him roll a 1d2 and we'll do it easier that way. So Hylan kind of nods as each of you kind of step forward towards your given bear. And she says, excellent. Before we begin, I did want to provide an option which I did during my Starfleet Academy days. You have the option of wearing an awesome hat. Would any of you care to have an awesome hat?
I would love a hat.
She picks up a d8, puts it in the tray ahead of her, and says, you may roll for it.
Okay. Roll 1d8. 3.
And as soon as the dice rolls a 3, you see the holographic representation of your bear now has a bowler hat on.
Yes!
Yeah, I want to roll for a hat too.
5. So, similarly, as soon as the dice finishes rolling, a cowboy hat appears on yours.
Oh, that works. That works so well.
Alright, the doodle roll.
The dude.
I was.
The dude
He said,
abides.
she said I was washed up. 1.
A trilby appears on your bear.
No!
Milady.
Oh, Lord. Rousseau, you want to go for one?
I hate
Yeah, I think I'm
everything.
good.
Okay. All right. So once all of you have finished rolling, Hylong says, so the way this will work is all of you will now step into the holographic representation of yourselves. And from now until the simulation ends, everyone will see you as this bear. It is probably a good thing to tell you that, of course, you all can understand each other, but it may not be the case with other individuals. You, of course, can mangle some form of speech, some language, but there might be miscommunications, just so you know. And one thing that you'll find once you've stepped into each of your bears is there will be a indicator on the inside of your quote-unquote costume that will follow you as you follow your movements as you go. There are 2 numbers you need to be aware of. The first is bear, and basically anytime you do something that involves mauling, running and climbing, shrugging off damage, scaring people, or doing anything that is bear-like, you would roll underneath this bear number. Similarly, anything that is not related to being a bear or anything that is related to the heist, you would be rolling under your criminal score. And the way I've arranged this for you all is that we'll take pause between each of your actions, and you will be given the opportunity to roll what is essentially an oversized d6. Obviously, since we're doing this on a holodeck, I've taken a few liberties with the program, but we do this simply to see how well your action might play out, as it were. There's a few more rules, but we'll get into those as needed. It's a really simple game that I think you'll all will enjoy. So if you all step into your bears, as it were.
I try to knock the trilby off my bear first.
Unfortunately, it seems rather stuck.
No, alright.
Alright.
I walk into the bear backwards.
Okay. So, interestingly, the bear actually rotates, and so that now you're just facing away from Hylong while everybody else is looking kind of in her direction. But once you all step into your bears and you start to move around, you'll see that the holographic representation moves with you. It's a very very good likeness of bear movements, if I had to qualify it. But yeah, go ahead. Someone have a question? Maybe.
Oh no.
Okay. So Hylong kind of smiles and claps her hands together and says, "Excellent. So we shall begin. Computer, begin Hylong Alpha 7. And all around you, the holodeck begins to shimmer and change. And you find yourselves on the outside of a convention hall. And looking around, you realize that you might be on Risa. And Hylong says, and you're looking around, you don't see Hylong anymore, but you know she's probably still in the room nearby. She's kind of playing that omniscient GM kind of a thing. And you hear her voice from overhead, and she says, "It's finally here. HoneyCon 2371. Honey from all across the quadrant has been gathered here under one banner. For the species that attend, it's a festival of taste testing and cultural exchange. For you, though, it's the stage for what will be the greatest heist of honey in the history of the quadrant. The convention organizer is a spoiled trust fund Ferengi who is looking to make a profit. As you may have figured out by now, the convention is being held in a lavish convention center on none other than Risa. So far, all of you have remained undetected by pretending to be simple convention goers. But as you all gather one by one in front of the convention center, you realize that you're among good company and your fellow bears. And at this moment, if any of you have any special names, or if you have anything we should know about your bear, let's hear it.
Oh, jeez.
So to blend in on Ryza, my bear is going to be carrying a Horgon.
Okay.
I'm staying away from that bear.
I am Jeffrey Lebersky, and I'll be carrying an opened carton of cream.
Okay.
Don't smell it.
I am Chad Crowbear, and despite my fluffy white fur, I regularly keep it bleached. And there's a little comb stuck in me somewhere in my back. I lost. I can never get it back.
Oh dear.
I'm Fozzie, and you might want to watch out for me. I'm a little crazy, man. Little crazy.
Hylong, you actually hear Hylong laugh, and she says, I see Nalan's getting into character. This is very good.
Oh, I'm trying to.
So, now that you've all gathered together, I'd like you each to roll me a d6, and this will be the final dice roll before we begin proper. And before each of you appears a big old, like, bear-sized d6 that you can then roll. Okay, so she says, Richaud, you are the driver. Okay, so she looks at the dice rolls and she says, interestingly, Captain and Crowley, both of you are the muscle. And then Nalan, you are the brains.
Lovely.
So do we have something that I'm driving then?
Yes, in fact you do. And behind you, kind of in the parking lot, or the equivalent thereof in the 24th century, there is in fact a small shuttle that you would have personally come in on, Richaud.
Sounds good.
But yeah, all of you are currently outside the convention center. You've just met each other. What would you like to do?
Excuse me. I want to take a look around, see if there's any armed guards outside this security center. This convention center, my bad.
So Hylong says, you look around, and although you see many different species and races that are here, you don't see any security guards at the moment.
All right.
But you, as the brains of the operation, would know that there's probably some security around the vault.
All right. Well, it seems like for the most part we're gonna be okay, but once we get to the vault, we're gonna have to be careful. There's probably some security around it.
Cool. Let's stop by like the merch stands first. We might get some free samples.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right.
Sorry, did you say that there are other bears here as well, not just us?
So they are every convention goer is there's no like actual bears, but you're seeing Romulans.
Okay, I must have misheard then, sorry.
No, it's okay. You're seeing Romulans, you're seeing humans, you're seeing Denobulans, a whole slew of different people. But I will say, because you are bears, if there are other bears, you will know them by sight alone. Their bear disguises do not fool you. But yeah. So, just give me a moment as I copy all of your tokens onto the right page. Alright. Should be everyone. Yes. Alright. So, you all, now that you've come together as a group, you all step inside the convention center and you see a wide variety of different booths and samples that are being handed out. And you know that across the hall from you would be the vault based on the pamphlet map that you've picked up so far. And the good news is it doesn't seem anyone's really taken care or taken note of the fact that you are actual bears.
Excuse me.
Alright, I'm going to start looking for the Kahlua sign so I can get my free sample.
Okay. Roll me bear, please.
Bear. Alright, so I got to get... It's 3 or under?
Correct. So another big old dice appears in front of your character.
Oh, jeez.
So, you look around trying to find the sample, and either the longs are just too large, or you're kind of getting shifty eyes.
So, I want to try and do the same thing as the captain, but I want to motion to someone and, the samples?
Okay. Another big old dice appears in front of you. Either your hat just isn't very convincing, or something about maybe it's because you and the captain are the muscle of the operation. You're very intimidating, and that's putting people off.
Oh no, I'm growling at people.
See, I'm gonna try and weave in between some of the booths. I want to check out the security near that vault.
Okay, roll me a criminal, please. And instead of a red die, a blue die appears in front of you now.
Ooh. 3.
You succeed. So, Fozzie, you kind of start to walk around the convention hall and look out for any sort of security. And sure enough, as you kind of glance in the direction of the vault, you see that there are a grand total of 4 Gorn guards currently stationed outside of the doors leading into the vault.
All right, I'm gonna head back to the dude and tell him, hey, it seems like there's 4 guards near the vault, so 1 for each of us if we decide to take that head-on route. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, did we lose Crowley?
Oh.
Good.
Did we lose the captain? Because I wanted to talk to the captain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, I've just been looking for Kahlua this whole time.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I want some samples.
So, 4 guards and... Actually, wait 1 second. I'm gonna go look and see if maybe there's some kind of, if this is is this a multi-floored facility?
It's just a single floor.
Okay, never mind then.
Sorry?
Yep.
I thought there was... I thought there was maybe, 2 floors or something, but there's only 1, so it's whatever.
It's a very small convention hall.
Gotcha.
So
I
Hilo
walk
kind
over-
of... go ahead.
I walk over to the dude who's like, I'm nervous, never done this before. Felt so good here though.
What's wrong with your voice?
Beat a bear. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, right, there.
Wave my paw at Risho.
No, Risho is not into it at all.
It's like, we're bears, and we gotta do bear stuff.
Hylung just laughs a little bit and says, "Yes, that is correct, Captain."
Okay, I look for a picnic basket to steal then?
A red die appears before Rochelle. Rochelle, if you'd be so kind as to roll for me. Well, sure enough, Rochelle, you're looking around, and your keen bear senses lead you to an unattended picnic basket.
It's mine now.
So you look around very shiftily to see if anybody is looking. Thankfully, they're not, so you snatch up the picnic basket and return to your fellows.
If the historical documents I remember from my childhood are accurate, then this is what bears like.
Well, as you look inside the picnic basket, you find 2 jars of premium Betazoid honey.
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna pop one of those bad boys open and start going to town on it.
All right. So interesting, Rochelle. As you eat this load of honey, you have an option here to move 1 point of criminal into bear. So your scores would be 4 and 2, respectively.
Sure, and sorry, which one? So criminal is blue or red?
Criminal is blue, bear is red.
All right, cool.
Rochelle, can I get some of that honey?
Yes, Captain.
All right, I pour it into my cream,
Jesus.
and I'll start drinking that.
Okay, so you have the same option here. You can increase your bear by decreasing 1 point of criminal.
Well, I am the muscle, so I'll do that.
All right. So as this takes place, and both Rochelle and Chad, you feel a bit more bear-like. And Hylong adds, so one thing of note I should tell you, that if either of your stats ever reaches 6, then something bad happens.
Well, that's like your opinion, man.
Oh, dear. But yes, each of you, 2 of you anyway, have gotten a sample of honey.
Pretty sure bears are good drivers, right? This will be fine.
From what I've heard, bears can be good drivers. You'll be fine. We trust you.
So is my Horgon getting any attention?
Oh, it is. It is.
Excellent.
There are, for sake of argument and brevity, there are a multitude of Ryzian women and men, they don't judge, that are kind of walking by and asking, are you seeking Jamaharon?
Which is what I imagine they hear.
Yes. And they say, oh, I'm sorry to bother you. Enjoy your time at this convention. Hylong throws you a bone and says, Rochelle, if you'd like to roll me a criminal, I might allow you to speak mangled English in this instance.
Nope.
A 3. Unfortunately, yes. To them, it just seems to come across as some sort of guttural roaring or some sort of "rrr."
Are there any Klingons here?
Yes, in fact, there are some Klingons. You find them actually at booth F20. They are selling their wares of what appears to be a almost deep red honey.
Blood honey. I've heard of this. Gross. Are they offering any samples?
Oh, they are. In fact, one of them turns to you and says, I see a stout warrior ahead of me. Would you care for a sample? He kind of tilts his head to the side and roars back at you and goes, "Roar!"
Alright, I feel as though that's a bonding moment, and I'll take a sample.
Okay, so you take a sample. And do you choose to eat it or save it?
I don't have to adjust my stats if I eat it, right?
Yeah, it's a voluntary movement of points.
Alright. He will... I'll save it. Yeah.
Okay.
Put it in my bear pockets. Sure, why not?
Yes, and Hailong chips in. Oh, don't worry. We are playing by the rules that you can carry a good amount of stuff without having to worry about the logistics of it.
Commander, do you have any extra pouches I could borrow from you? I seem to remember you had several.
I got belts. I got belts galore.
Yeah.
Oh god, can his bear be wearing the same outfit?
Yes, in fact, his bear is now wearing the same outfit.
That's gonna be warm with all that fur and leather and fur trim. Jesus.
I look good.
You know,
I look like a...
the next convention I go to, I'm going to see a bear in that outfit. I swear to God, I will.
Oh, it's like multiple belts just around the waist for no apparent reason. One works, the rest of them are just show.
Oh, Lord.
Jesus.
So it's, as Rochelle, as you're getting your blood honey. Fozzie, you are attracted to the smell of something coming from booth F4.
Ooh, I go check out what's over there.
Alright, so you walk on over, and you push past the crowds a little bit to get a view of what's going on. And you see, what appears to be a Denobulan spice honey that they're handing out samples for.
Ooh. I'm gonna take some of that and save it for later.
Oh Lord, the accent is killing me. Hailong laughs and says, of course. And then finally, Chad, before you at the big booth F1, you see a very stereotypical human wares, as it were. So the standard Terran honeys.
I look at him and look down, look back at him and just point.
You want a sample? Yes, here you go. And the man behind the booth just hands you a sample of honey.
Oh. Take it and walk away.
Okay. It's at this point that I'd like everyone to roll me a criminal. So before all four of you, the blue die appears. Okay. All right. So
Nope.
Crowley passed. Milan didn't. So Chad Crowbear, as it were, you're looking around the convention center and you see what looks like 4 green bears that, if you had to guess, they might be Orion bears.
That's great. Do I know if they're male bears or female bears?
I mean, you would have to get up close to check. You can't really tell from this distance.
I've heard rumors through the underweb, through some postings that female Orion bears can make you do things potentially.
Hailong just laughs but doesn't say a word.
Someone's out on my balcony. What the hell?
Oh.
Slightly random, but you know.
Oh, neighbors are doing stuff and they're putting stuff on my balcony.
Fun.
Oh. Wonderful.
Is it honey?
Is it honey?
Is it honey?
It looks like it's flooring. Old flooring they're pulling out.
Huh. Well, if you need to run and yell at them, that's understandable.
Yeah. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
All right. So we'll say, for sake of argument, though, that Chad has told you all about the Orion bears he has spotted.
Okay.
While this is happening, I'm not paying attention, and I'm just going to go up to F23.
Okay.
And I will ask them, do you have any Kahlua?
The Cardassian behind the booth just kind of tilts his head to the side and says, "We have Kanar." Right, here you go. And he just hands over a very small, almost like hip flask size bottle of Kanar.
I put down my carton of cream and honey, and I just, with my bare teeth, try to pop the cork on the Canar and I just smell it.
Okay.
What does Canar smell like?
The red dye appears before you.
All right. Ah, I'm more bear than man. That's a D4. That doesn't count. No!
No.
So, unfortunately, Captain, as you try to get the Canar open, your bear strength is just so much as the muscle that, you clamp down with your teeth and it's too hard and the flash just splatters all over you.
Oh, my bad, man. Do you have another?
The Cardassian looks very concerned, but passes you another flask.
This time I'll just nudge the cap with my claw to see if he'll open it for me.
Sure. He takes it and he twists it and then puts it right back in front of you.
Alright, what, does it smell good?
Have you ever had Canar before, Captain?
Maybe once.
I mean, it smells like Canar, so it's up to your decision.
I put it in with the cream and honey.
Jesus.
And I'll drink some more.
Okay.
I'm back.
I get the impression that nobody on DS9 drinks Canar other than Cardassians, so it can't be that good.
I just stood by the window, looked as they put more stuff onto my balcony, and then they saw me looking at them, and they pulled it back.
Always good to have shifty neighbors like that.
I'm on the 3rd floor.
Planning their own heist.
Hide your honey!
Can I observe if anyone's paying with anything? Is there any currency exchange happening?
No, it seems to be kind of a free sample kind of a deal where you just kind of have to walk up to the booth, wait in line a little bit, and then they just kind of hand you a sample.
Is there a dolly or a cart nearby?
Sure, there's a cart over by W5.
I will wander on over. And is anyone near the dolly?
There's a woman, a Romulan woman who's currently manning the cart, and as you approach, she says, "Hello, would you care for a sample?"
I point to the dolly.
You want my cart?
I need samples.
A red die appears before you. Actually, 2 red die appear before you. And Hailong says, because you are a muscle, you are allowed to roll 2d6, because this would be in line with your roll. And whichever die is the lowest is the one we'll go with.
Alright.
A 2. Excellent. So the Romulan woman just kind of looks a little bit intimidated and says, here, you can have the cart.
Thank you. I take the cart and I start going to each stall taking the sample.
Oh, Lord.
Jesus.
I want to look for something that is like a heavy ball, roughly a bowling ball in proportion to a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Like something from like one of the souvenir stands or something.
Okay. So you go up to booth W31, Captain, and
All
you
right.
see that they have all sorts of souvenirs. The one that would be closest to what you're looking for appears to be a transparent aluminum beehive, a Terran beehive, that is approximately the size of a bowling ball.
In proportion to a bear?
In proportion to a bear, yes.
Yeah. I'll just point at it and go, "Rah!"
2 red die appear before you.
Yeah!
So, the shopkeep just kind of goes, here, man, I don't want any trouble. Just hands you the transparent aluminum beehive.
Alright, I'll start carrying it around like a bowling ball.
Okay. Rochelle, it's about this time that as you're coming back to the group with your blood honey, you see that some of the Orion bears are heading in your direction.
All right. You know what? I'll move to meet the Orion bears that are coming towards me.
Excellent. So, Rochelle, you get in between booth F20 and F19, and stepping forward is one of the Orion bears, and you look at one another, and there's a moment of understanding that you're looking at what might be a rival team of bears. And the Orion bear says, "Who are you and why are you here? This heist is ours."
Sorry, heist? I'm here for the convention, man. Love honey. So good. Got blood honey.
The Orion just kind of looks at you very shiftily and says, "So you aren't here for the case of pure Manuka extract that's worth at least 100 bars of gold-pressed latinum."
There's a case of pure Manuka extract that's worth at least 100 bars of gold-pressed platinum? That's news to me. Did not know that.
One of the Orions that was with the bear just kind of steps behind this particular one and slaps him in the back of the head and says, "Why are you telling them? He wouldn't have known if you hadn't told them." And
Man, I was just here for the honey, but that sounds like a good heist opportunity.
"Well, now you know what we got to do. We got to shut this guy up, eh?" And before you, Rochelle, the two bears begin to rear up and attempt to attack you. And a red die.
The one as he's rearing up right in front of me.
Okay, a red die appears before you.
Sweet.
Sure enough, you lower your head and you rush in with a headbutt, and you send one of the bears reeling back onto his back, kind of flailing uselessly. And his fellow says, "Hey, what are you doing?"
What accent is that? And why is it all over the galactic map?
I have no idea. I'm terrible at accents.
It sounds like he's attempting a Brooklyn accent and it's just going haywire.
It pretty much.
I've never been to Brooklyn, so I assume that is exactly what they sound like.
Alright, does Lebersky hear any of this going on?
Oh, you certainly do. You certainly do.
I wanna get over here.
Okay.
And they look lined up like some bowling pins to me. I wanna roll for a strike.
Okay. Versus the right group, yeah?
Yeah, the ones Rochelle's fighting.
Okay. 2 red die appear before you.
Yeah.
So, the dude, as you roll your transparent aluminum honey hive, it goes careening towards the 2 bears, and the one that's currently on his feet is tripped up and falls to his back, and the one that's on the ground, the beehive just kind of smacks against his head, and the bear kind of looks like he's knocked out. The tongue kind of hangs out of his mouth.
What's going on with the boots right beside where we're having our little scrap?
Oh, they don't seem to care one bit.
You're super chill. What's in their honey? I want some of that.
Oh, man.
So it's at this point, Chad, Crowbear, and Fozzie, you would see your own group of 2 Orion bears headed in your direction.
Oh. What are you doing here?
We're here for the honey, of course.
The honey. Right. You have anything to do with that vault back there? Are you here for that too?
Oh, that little thing? Nah, no, not at all. And a blue die, an optional blue die, appears next to you.
Sure, why not?
So, you as the brains, Fozzie, you're able to see through their lies. They are most definitely here for that vault.
Well, I I think you're definitely here for the honey. I think you're lying to me. The group I have with me, we're going to be the ones taking it.
The Orion bear kind of starts to shake, and much to some certain person's prediction, pheromones begin to waft through the air,
Oh no.
and a red die appears in front of Fozzie.
Oh jeez. No.
So Fozzie, you really feel like this Orion bear in front of you is your friend. You feel like helping them for the moment.
Yeah, let's steal this honey together, why don't we? That sounds like a fun time. I mean,
Oh no! Oh, I want to charge them with the card I have. I want to pick that card up and hit them with it.
Okay.
I'm the muscle.
2 red die, because you are the muscle. So 2 red die appear before you. Alright, so you run up with the cart, you pick it up, setting the jars on top of it flying as you reach out and smack both of the Orion bears with your cart and send them careening into the stand F10. And Fozzie, you shake your head and suddenly your mind is clear once again.
but Chad, what happened?
I told you, they make you do things.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry. I just thought they were here to help us. I mean,
No, green bad.
oh, okay. All right. Well, let's go check on the dude and Rochelle while we're here.
I'm moving away from the mess I made. I'm leaving my cart behind.
Okay. So Rochelle and the dude, you have 2 incapacitated Orion bears next to you. What would you like to do?
I checked their pockets for loot.
You check their pockets for loot. A blue die appears before you. Alright.
Man, I'm really living up to that incompetent role. Sweet.
Yeah. You don't find anything of use.
Wait, they don't have pockets. They're bears.
You just cut into them. Just bleeding
Face
out.
palm.
I want to go to the Klingon booth.
Alright, that would be F20.
F20. Alright. I want to look at the Klingon guy and see if there's any items, like any apparel I can have, like a sash.
You see a batleth. A toy batleth, but a batleth nonetheless.
Now, a Klingon toy is literally just a blunted batleth.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just a blunted batleth?
Yup.
I point to it and go,
You wish to have the batleth.
and I flex my arm.
A blue die appears next to you.
Oh,
You would have to face me in honorable combat to get that batleth.
I do the old-timey style boxing pose to him.
Okay.
I'm dancing my little feet.
Oh, Lord. So 2 red die appear next to you.
Oh. Doesn't help if I do a whisper, I went to do a roll. Oh!
So,
Ugh.
Hailong, actually, you sound like she's a little bit concerned, and she says, well, Chad Crowbear, as you begin to spar with the Klingon, either you're just not a very good polar bear, or this Klingon has wrestled some bears in his day. Because not only does he flip you over, he does so in such a manner that it's as if you were doing nothing to him. It is very emasculating.
Aww. Little bit of the rookie. I want to get up though and extend out my paw to like shake his arm, like do the whole little arm grab.
He mirrors it and says, that was a good fight. Here, you can have a sample of blood honey. And he gives you a sample of blood honey.
I take it and start eating it.
Okay. And remember, you do have the voluntary option to move 1 point from criminal into bear.
So what happens if I go for 1 bear now? Do I lose anything currently, or do I just get closer to being more bear-like?
You just get closer to being more bear-like.
Alright, I'll leave it for now.
Okay. So, the dude and Fozzie, what are you guys doing?
These other bears to the left, are they still up, or they got carted?
They are currently underneath a cart.
Okay. And then there's still Gorns protecting the vault?
That is correct.
What's an F-12?
Well, you look at F-12 and you see that there is some Bajoran honey.
Oh god, this is so bad. Do they have like a replica of like one of the orbs?
Like the orbs of prophecy?
Yeah.
The orb of honey.
Sure, yeah, there's the orb of honey.
I want to intimidate them into giving me the orb of honey.
Alright, 2 red die appear next to you. Sure enough, you're so intimidating that they go, here! And they give you the replica of the orb of honey. It glows in your hands, providing you with a small warmth. And as you hold the orb of honey, you suffer a flashback. And, or maybe it's a flash forward. You're not really sure. But you see...
I'm flying upside down on a bowling alley.
You see yourself in the middle of the vault, and you're looking around and there's honey all around you. And you feel the most successful thing in the world as you're about to finally complete your heist. And you now have the option of moving a point from bear back into criminal.
I'm going to keep it where it is.
Okay. So the flash forward or the flashback ends, and you're still holding the orb of honey.
Alright. How many Gorn are there?
There are 4.
I'm gonna go bowling again.
2 red die.
Yeah!
Yeah. So you roll, you pick up your transparent aluminum honey hive and you roll it towards the Gorn. And
Oh no! This is the orb of honey.
oh, well, you take the orb of honey and begin to roll it sacrilegiously towards the Gorn, and one of them is taken aback, or not taken aback, but is caught unawares as this large orb just kind of barrels into him and knocks him to the ground, and all of his fellows just kind of look up at you and go, What are you doing?" So Fozzie, Chad, and Richaud, you all see and hear this. Do you react in any way?
Do I find a knife anywhere?
A blue die appears next to you. Yeah, you find a knife, no problem.
I like to pretend that it's one of the daggers on the side of my bare pant leg now.
Oh, God.
I just look to Richaud and it's like, go help Captain, I'll deal with these.
Okay, sure thing. So, sorry, were these, the Orions on the right, were they unconscious, or what's their situation?
The one directly to your south is unconscious, and I'll actually throw a mark on them so we know. So these 3 bears are unconscious, and this one is simply prone, which I'll go with this mark. So the southernmost bear on the right side is prone, but is still conscious.
Okay, and what's the ceiling of the convention center look like?
Oh, it is a big arch.
Big arch. Okay. So there isn't like rafters or anything like that?
There's some, simply because otherwise replacing the lights would be hell.
Right.
But it's not like an official second floor or something of that nature.
Okay. I would like to drag the nearby unconscious Orion over to the nearby wall, like by F-17.
Okay. So you do that.
Alright. And, is there like any rope or anything nearby?
Yes, there's some spare rope. Turns out the people at F-16 are giving away or selling honey flails.
Okay. I'm going to intimidate them and, well, I guess they're just giving away. I don't need to intimidate them. I'm going to procure some honey flails from folks at F-16.
All right.
I'm going to tie up this unconscious Orion like a marionette and climb the wall to the rafters.
Okay. A red die appears next to you, and since you are a driver, actually it's 2 red die.
Also, I believe the black bears are capable of climbing.
Yes. So that's. I don't think I can give you 3. Let me check. Yeah, it's just 2.
Okay. All right. I'm real bad at everything.
Poor Rochelle.
Well, never mind. Weekend of burning this guy over to the Gorn.
Okay. I'll give you an option here.
All right.
You can qualify this as a plan, and you would, if you take this option, you would immediately move a point from criminal into bear. But I would allow you to re-roll the task.
Sure. Just
remember, though, if you get to your bear stat of 6, something bad might happen.
All right. No, I'm sure having 1 in criminal will be real good when we're driving away. So I'm re-rolling a 2d6?
Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
So sure enough, you're able to string up the Orion bear in a... Give me a second. And Hylong kind of very quickly, you hear the pages turning, and she says, "Oh, yes, I see what you're doing. You, quote-unquote, weekends at Bernie's him."
Yeah. The WAB, and I marionette him over to the Gorn.
Okay. So...
As subtly as this could possibly happen.
All right, so you bring over the marionette, the weekend at Bernie's. Oh Lord! So you walk over with the Orion marionette, and the Gorn's guards are looking between the dude and the Orion bear, and they turn to the Orion bear and say, "Are you part of them? Do we need to handle you too?"
I'm going to throw my voice as best as I can.
Okay.
From the rafters.
All right, a blue die appears next to you.
Oh, well, I mean, that's not going to happen. Yep.
So it sounds like it's coming from the rafters, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, maybe the Gorn are dumb. And, you know, say I'm gonna try and do the guttural language, try and growl out some English at them, or I guess some Gornish.
Sure.
And reply, "No, I'm not with it. I'm not with the other bears. Only the green bears are here to steal your honey." Oops, did I say steal your honey? What?
So,
as he says that, I'm guessing the Gorns are looking towards in this direction over here.
Uh-huh.
I want to pick up the unconscious one and hurl him at the Gorns.
Oh, Lord.
And as I'm hurling him, I'm just going, look out!
So Hylong just kind of goes, okay, and 2 red die appear next to you. And Hylong just kind of, it's like, you can tell she's like rubbing the back of her head, trying to figure out how to flavor this, and she's like, you pick up the bear and lob it to the Gorn in such a fashion that it knocks 2 of them down. And they're now trapped underneath the unconscious form of a bear.
I immediately book it over here and want to try and break into this room.
The mechanical room?
Yeah.
A blue die appears next to you. Yeah, you're able to break in, no problem.
Read what's inside this room.
Well, as you step inside, Chad Crowbear, you see that there is a multitude of monitors and security feeds, and that there is an individual, a human male, that is currently seated with his back to you, that is overseeing all the feeds, and you can see that several of the cameras are pointed towards the vault.
I hold up the dagger.
A red
And I
die
just
kind of appears next to you.
I'm just looking at the dagger, looking at him, and I'm looking at everyone. And oh man, how do I communicate? Like, what die is that? That blue dice?
It depends on how you're communicating.
I'm just gonna say they need help, and I'm gesturing outside.
A blue die appears. The guy turns around and he just kind of looks at you and says, "Hey, you don't belong in here. What do you get out of here?"
I'm gonna maul him.
2 red die.
Wow,
Get it.
harsh.
So Hailong again kind of sounds unsure, and she says, "Well, I suppose you stab him real good. Are you going for lethal or?"
I want to make him have his life flash before his eyes. Yeah, I'm going full bear on this.
Okay. Well,
I'll just do that right now.
yeah, you could tell that Hailong's like kind of at a loss. Like she didn't expect this, and she's like, okay, you stab him real good, but he's still alive.
I got nothing left. Someone else go well, I think.
Lord. So, Fozzie, you would see both that the Gorn have mostly been taken care of, except for one, and you would have seen Commander Crowley or Chad Crowbear head into the mechanical room, and you would have heard some sort of yell from that direction. Oh, did we lose Milan?
Milan?
Oh wait, I'm here. We're good.
Okay.
I guess I had my mic turned off accidentally.
Rip.
I'm gonna run up to the one conscious Gordon. I'm just gonna try and maul him.
A red die appears next to you.
Yes. No.
Yeah, the Gorn kind of sidesteps your blows, and he moves up and he tries to palm strike you right in the solar plexus. And you fall back a little bit injured, and you're going to move a point into bear from criminal.
Oh no. All right. Let's see. So that'll become 2. And then that'll become 4. Okay.
I dropped down from the rafters on that Gorn.
Okay. A red die appears next to you.
Yeah, but
It should be easy for you.
GM, have you seen The Revenant?
boom.
Both Hailong and myself answer, no, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. Has anyone seen that movie with Leonardo?
I have.
Is
It's
this
a wonderful
about to
movie.
get an Oscar?
If by Oscar you mean a bear-shaped elbow drop, yeah, he is.
So Hailong really sounds like out of her element at this point, and if it wasn't already clear, and she's like, okay, you knee elbow dropped the Gorn so hard that not only is he unconscious, but you might have given him a concussion or something. I mean, you're a bear dropping from the rafters. I don't think he's gonna be getting up very quickly after that.
Take that, Ranger.
The dude just looks up like halfway completing his bamboo gun, and he's like, "Oh, okay." He throws it down.
I'm going to stop using the dagger.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go full bear maul. I'm going to try and clamp down on his shoulder and then flail him around the room.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, okay, 2 red die appear next to you.
Is this like puny god with the Hulk?
No.
So, yeah, you not eviscerate, but you I guess injure him in such a way that he falls unconscious.
Yay! I start looking at the computer, I guess, and try to figure out how to just hide what we just did, despite the full floor of people watching us.
So there, next to you appears a blue die.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
No.
Being
You're
a bear is much easier than being a criminal.
You're looking at the feeds and you're like, I'm the muscle. I'm not the brains.
Oh,
Oh, I guess I'm the muscle. I'm not the brains. I'm a muscle, the computer.
Jesus.
Okay. 2 red die appear next to you.
I just start bear pawing the whole computer.
Yeah, I guess you kind of destroy the security system so that there's no longer any remaining evidence of what just happened or what might happen next.
Yay!
I want to pick up the orb of honey and Risho, you cool to drive, man?
Yeah, let's, sure, why not?
His
Paws are very good for dexterous tasks.
Alright, but if you need to be more criminal, here's the orb of honey, man. It'll mellow you out. It'll really tie the bear together.
That's what I think of when I think of criminal. Super mellow. Alright, I'll take the orb of honey.
So you experience a flashback, and your flashback is this morning at breakfast. You were having a nice honey and toast, and you were planning about how you were going to get into the convention center and steal the honey. And it's at that time that you get a call from your father, and your father says, "I'm very proud of you, son." And you have the option of moving a point from bear to criminal.
Yep, I have done so.
Excellent.
And so I'm going to step over the unconscious forms of these Gorn and go to the vault.
Excellent.
I'm going to do the same.
Yeah!
Alright, so let me grab you all
Bears.
there. Let me grab you all. Where did you go? You guys
Where did
ran
you
off
go?
the map.
Oh, I'm standing right in front of the vault.
Okay, there's the dude. Where did the other one go?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I can see all of them at least.
Yeah.
Huh. That's weird. Let me just grab you from this map instead.
Say what you want about the tenets of Grand Theft Bear, but at least it's an ethos.
Oh, jeez.
Alright, so
No
is.
lasers!
the Gorn aren't there anymore, so let me put the Gorn away.
Yeah, Enterprise Gorn. Gross.
So, the 3 of you, or the 4 of you, step into the vault, and, with your keen bear eyes, you're able to make out that there's a laser wire trip grid.
Why did they make this vault out of gold?
It must have been made by
it's-
Ferengi.
No, it's made out of honey.
Wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
well, let's just steal the vault then.
Oh, good idea.
All right, so is there any way that it looks like there's to disable this laser system from where we are?
There is, but 1 second, I just gotta check everyone's bear score. I think everyone is at 4-2.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, so
Yes.
go ahead
I'll
and
reset it.
go ahead and fix that. So your question was, is there any way to get rid of the laser tripwire? Yes?
Yeah.
Well, if you would care to use your brains to figure it out, and a blue die appears next to you.
This will be interesting. Yay! I got a 1, so that's okay.
So, yeah, you know that there's 2 options here. Either your driver could dance through the laser tripwires and shut it off from the other side, or your 2 muscles could just barrel in and, not care about the laser tripwires. You might be fast enough that you could steal the honey and make it your way out.
All right, so Chad and the dude. So we got 2 options here, and Rochelle for that matter. We can either have you 2, meaning Chad and the dude, run in there real quick, steal the honey, and we'll get out of here. Or Rochelle, you can dance your way on through there and try to shut it off from the other side.
Time to go full Catherine Zeta-Jones. And,
Wait, aren't you also really good at climbing?
yep.
You guys look at me, I'm just covered in blood.
Oh no, blood-covered polar bear. Oh no.
Covered in blood and the worst costume ever.
What's red and white and black all over?
No.
Oh dear. All right, so
Newspaper?
so Rochelle, a pair of red die appears next to you. Yeah, that's enough. So
It's
Rochelle,
very sexy.
yes, Rochelle, you are an agile and skilled bear that is able to backflip and otherwise twirl through the laser tripwires, and you emerge on the other side.
Yeah, slink. I like the adjective slink. Or I guess not the adjective. Verb.
Slink is a good adjective. I like it. So you slink your way through, and you find on the other side that there's a control panel.
And now, here's where I betray the rest of the team and take the honey for myself. I've seen heist movies before. Or I'll just deactivate the lasers. One of those two things. Probably the second one.
So blue die appears next to you.
Jeez.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Sure enough, you deactivate the laser tripwires, and your way forward into the vault is clear.
All right, let's go, boys. And I run into the vault.
All right. So
I'll walk slowly forward.
You all four step into the vault, and you see that there is just this massive mound of honey from all over the quadrant.
Grab the bags with the, not dollar signs, obviously, but bees on them that are just immediately located inside the corner, and start loading up some honey.
Awesome. As you're doing this, who's on the lookout?
I would have stayed out.
Okay. So, go ahead.
I'm gonna put a bunch of money or a bunch of honey onto the rug on the floor, and then just pick it up like a giant knapsack.
It's a good call. It's a good call. Chad Crowbear, though, as you're on the lookout, I need you to roll me this, and a red die appears next to you. You're looking out, and you realize that the unconscious Gorn are beginning to rouse. Whatever you're gonna do inside, you better finish it quickly.
All right. Well. Oh wait, no, never mind. I don't know.
How close are they to me?
They're close enough that you could conceivably walk back to them, no problem.
Yeah.
Even the one that Rochelle really hit?
Well, he's probably out cold, but the others, they're looking like they might rouse in the next few minutes.
I'm gonna go over, pick up the Orion bear, and slam him on them again.
Oh God.
You hear Hailong actually gasp at this, and she's like, "Okay, 2 red die." You use that Orion bear as a living flail and make sure that the Gorn aren't getting up again.
I'm not good at this. I'm the rookie, remember? I'm panicking and doing this quickly.
This is the thing. This is all happening. I'm not sure if Hailong is either distraught or is in one of those moments where she's like, But
she brought this upon herself.
She did.
What she signed up for.
She composes herself a little bit and says, "Okay, at this point, you've been able to amass about 75% of the honey. Did you want to? Well, Rochelle, did you want to tell the others about what the Orions told you?
What did they tell me?
The Manuka extract.
Oh, is this not all the Manuka extract?
Oh no, the Manuka extract is in a different pile from the honey.
Okay. You know what? No, Rochelle is actually going to betray the group and try and take that for himself.
Okay. Move up.
So that's going to happen, but as a sun bear, I have sense honey.
This is true. So, Rochelle.
And I was going to ask, I want to find the good stuff.
Okay. So let's handle this in this way. Rochelle, immediately move a point from bear into criminal. And then a blue die appears next to you. And then for the captain or the dude, 2 red die appear next to you.
All right.
Okay, we have a 2. And Richaud, you would... ooh, interesting. So here's how we'll do it. And you hear the audible sound of Hailong rolling her own die. And for sake of argument, I'm just going to say 1 to 3 will be in favor of the captain, and 4 to 6 will be in favor of Richaud. In favor of the captain. So the dude, you're smelling around and looking for the good stuff, and you see Richaud start to pick up this Manuka extract that's really good, like really good quality.
Richaud, you found it! Yeah, good. I'm glad Ray brought you along, and I'll hold out the rug for him to put it in.
Is there just a single jar, or?
There are a grand total of 5 jugs. Or not jugs, barrels.
Barrels, okay.
Almost like keg size, if that makes any sense.
Oh. Okay, if that's the case, tip one over, and then just wheel out of the vault like logs, like lumberjack style, like a log down a river.
Oh yeah, just walk on it like a performing bear in a circus. Yeah, no, for sure. Sounds good. Grab one under each arm, and log roll the other one out. Yeah.
Hailong is just like, yeah, this is happening. Okay. If you would all roll me this, and Richaud, you get 2 red die. Everyone else gets 1 red die.
Okay, I'm gonna roll this, and I have to get out of here.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right. So,
Nope.
Richaud and the captain. Actually, I think everyone except Crowley. Yeah, everyone except Crowley. So the 3 of you wheel your way out of the convention center, but Crowley, Chad Crowbear is suddenly caught on the other side of the laser tripwires as Gorn begin pouring in to the vault. It seems that you have been left behind by your team.
I'm going full bear.
All right. So,
Taking everyone out with me.
Hailong kind of wraps it up and says, well, that day was noted as one of the greatest honey heists known in this side of the quadrant, but unfortunately you lost one of your own along the way. But the rest of you had great honey that night, and were set almost for life. And then the holo simulation comes to a close, and you're once again in the bare holodeck room with Chief Hailong sitting at her desk. And you can see that she looks really nervous and is kind of a bit apprehensive, would be something Crowley and Nalan would pick up on.
The captain's still kind of hunched over in a bear pose and like just calmly goes back to like his very rigid posture, but he had like his like hands out in front of him like claws, and he's like, "Oh, okay, we're done now."
Well, that was a bit unorthodox, but hopefully you all had fun.
Oh,
So this is what you did at the academy?
Sometimes we played games that were more similar to the last time you went through the holodeck, but yes, this is more or less what we did.
Cool.
I'm having a good laugh. I just have a big smile on my face. Like, you guys left me all behind. Oh well.
Did we leave you behind, or did you stay behind?
I don't know. It was fun.
Well, Hailong kind of stands up and picks up her GM screen and her dice, and she says, "Well, I'm just gonna go. Not to say that was interesting, but I have a lot of things to think about now."
Thank you, Hailong. This was fun.
Yes, thank you, Chief, for inviting us to participate in your game.
Of course, perhaps we can revisit a similar type thing in the future. And
Next time, tell me what to dress up as. This was interesting.
I'll be sure to get you a proper dress code, Commander.
Thank you.
I'm gonna hand him a data pad with the outfit for Winnie the Pooh.
It's just a red shirt you want me to wear next time?
Never mind, Commander.
So how long?
Alternatively, you could wear a green pork pie hat and a tie.
Oh Lord. So unless anyone stops her, Hailong makes a hasty retreat as she's a little bit out of her element at the moment.
Oh, we broke her.
Yeah, and Nilan follows quickly after her just to make sure she's okay. Yeah, you guys are currently alone on the holodeck.
I'm gonna go get changed, Captain.
Yep. We'll probably need to meet with our probational officers soon, but you know what I mean, our officers on probation.
I've set up a meeting at your earliest convenience with them.
Okay.
All right. Just so I have everyone's token on the right page, are you going to have this meeting in the briefing room in one of your offices?
If it's going to be the commander and myself, we should do it in the conference room.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I will put you on this map again. And it would help if I put myself on the right page. All right. So it doesn't take you all long to get changed back into proper uniform and, go about your normal activities. Hopefully you guys are feeling a lot better, a lot less stressed than when you went in. But there is a slightly anxiety-inducing task ahead of you, and that the 3 Chameloids are called into the conference room by Commander Crowley and Captain Tahan.
I
Go
will have first gone back to my quarters to brush my teeth to get rid of the honey milk canar fiasco that's happening.
Oh God, okay.
So after washing my mouth out with bleach, I'm back.
Okay.
I've made sure to remove the eyeliner and the makeup.
Oh Lord. All right, so you both look shipshape for duty, and the 3 Chameloids filter on into the conference room. Sin is of course the first. Followed by Terra, and then Reeve arrives just on time. And Sin just kind of looks at you two at the front of the table. Well, you guys can move yourself to whatever chairs you like. But just kind of looks to you all and says, should we be seated for this?
Yes.
All right. So unless anyone stops her, Sin will take this seat. Reeve will take Rasho's usual seat, and then Tara will sit there.
So, as I'm sure you are aware, I will not be having you removed from the Arcadia. I would like to have you continue your service with a probational period, but as far as I can see, you've committed no crime other than the falsification of your records.
Sin looks rather pleased by this, and I guess Crowley, you'd pick up this fact as well. I mean, of course, you already told her that this was going to happen, but she feels a lot better actually hearing it from the captain. And Sin looks expectantly at Tara, and Tara just kind of smiles widely and says, "That's rather kind of you, Captain. Should we be aware of any stipulations, or are we going to be, like, not allowed on duty shifts or extra duty shifts?"
We'll work you back into the duty shifts over time. Commander Crowley and I will work on that scheduling. Reeve, you've been transferred to Science Department.
Uh,
I see you've gotten your new uniform.
yes, I think it suits me pretty well, sir.
Sin, you've been given the comparable rank of Lieutenant Junior grade.
She looks a little bit confused, but says, oh, okay, that's interesting. What department am I in?
For now, you're still in security.
Okay, I will have
security tactical.
I will have a yellow uniform replicated for me then.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, Captain, you wouldn't mind me using Klingon armor.
About that, we will be sending a letter to your house. Crowley, if you'd like to show this to her, I think you'll understand why we're sending this message.
It's the one me and Sin worked on. I'll hold up for her.
Okay, so she takes a quick look through it and says, "Oh yes, you took my advice. Yeah, this should put everything in order. As long as no one contacts the High Council and tells them otherwise, I believe this will suffice. No one will come looking for Ujesa, and no one will expect that I have quote-unquote taken her place."
Which is why I believe it would not be suitable for you to continue wearing a Klingon uniform, given what we're sending back to Klingon space.
Oh yes, I fully agree. Though if it's all the same to you, I'd like to keep the Batleth around just in case we're ever boarded.
Yeah, if you'd like to keep that, any officers allowed to have a Batleth in their quarters?
Excellent. I'll just need to wait for Commander Crowley to get out of his old quarters before I can move in.
Shouldn't be too long.
We will be telling the crew everything that's happened. Although, as far as the outside world is concerned, Ujesa did perish in glorious combat.
She wouldn't have wanted it any other way. And Sin smiles in a way like that's supposed to be a joke, but it may have gotten lost in translation.
I think I understand.
So, one question I have, Sin asks. I know you said that you'd be working us back into the duty schedule, but will I still be remaining a tactical for you all?
Positions on this ship are earned, and those who are most capable get the role.
She kind of looks at you expectantly, like she can guess, but she wants to be clear on it.
I'll see you on the bridge.
Of course, sir.
All right. You're dismissed.
All right. So Sin and Reeve actually get up to leave, and once they're gone, you're left with just Ensign Terra, who has remained behind. And once the door closes, she just kind of looks between the two of you and says, I actually did have a question. Obviously, Sin will likely be remaining in her normal form, or maybe she'll come up with a new one. I really don't know. That's her call. But if it's all the same to you all, I kind of would like to remain in my normal form.
What do you mean by your normal form?
The
one you're in now?
Yeah, she motions at herself, and then she does very briefly change back into her humanoid form, which is reflected by her token. And after you take in the fact that she's changed, she shifts back.
In Centera, you may assume whichever form you see fit.
I just wanted to be sure. I didn't know if there was any stipulation on no shape shifting, or if my hair in this form was out of line with uniform code. I just wanted to be sure.
Well, we'll have to review the uniform code, but I don't have any rule against shapeshifting. It's what you do that matters, not how you look.
Well, I'd like to know if she's turned into a Boolean. Just identify if you're changing.
Okay, I can certainly do that. As you may have guessed, though, it's really easy to tell us apart. You just need to get a good look at our eyes.
Well, still. Not everyone may realize that. If we take you on a mission, other people may realize that you're a Chameloid.
Well,
Or if we're in a dark situation, we're beamed down to a hostile world. Multiple scenarios. I'd prefer to be notified if you're going to be taking a new form so I can adjust to it.
Of course, that sounds very reasonable.
Just don't imitate any of the officers aboard the ship.
I wouldn't dream of it. Well, that's honestly the last few questions I had, sirs. If you'll excuse me.
you're excused.
All right, so Tara will walk out of the room at this point, leaving you two once again alone.
I think that went well, Commander.
I think it'll be interesting. I'm interested
Yes,
in seeing how Reeve reacts the next 3 months.
Hopefully, being in a position he enjoys will allow him to work better.
I do too.
And we are a science vessel, after all. We could always use more scientists.
That is true. I'll prepare a list of supplies we need from the Bellerophon. And, yeah.
All right.
That sounds excellent. Thank you, Commander.
All right. So I'm going to put you guys on the bridge here, unless you really want to run somewhere else. So we'll say, because we do have some actual Star Trek-y things to do during the session, it isn't just Honey Heist. So, you get in your requisition orders for the Bellerophon, and I'm curious as to whether or not you're asking for anything that might be non-standard. So I mean things like, well, to use the Ophion crew as an example, they might requisition some extra yeast or things that would allow them to continue to operate their distillery. Obviously, you guys don't have a distillery to my knowledge, but I'm just wondering if there's any kind of esoteric equipment or supplies you might want.
Would it be weird to request more medical scanners?
No, you could get more medical tricorders. That wouldn't be a problem.
Alright. Yeah, that's all I can add extra to it. I want everything being examined thoroughly, though. Anything that could be potentially hidden on it, just because, the whole Orion threat.
Right, I gotcha. We'll say that for sake of argument, everything passes muster. There doesn't appear to be any faulty equipment. You get all these new supplies with no problem.
Cool. And yeah, I'll do the typical commander thing. Reach out to the commander of the other vessel and just chit chat.
Okay.
It's good to make friends.
Rochelle, while that's going on, we'll say for sake of argument, you prepared and sent the probe already towards the wormhole. If you would like to give me a reason plus science, and I'll be certainly willing to entertain any other suggestions, but a reason plus science, standard difficulty of 2.
I'm assuming the sensors focuses, or
Oh, right, yes. The ship will assist with its sensors plus science.
okay.
So whoever wants to roll for the ship.
I can do that.
Yeah, so you basically, if the ship succeeds, you get momentum, which is what matters.
Do you get Did the difficulty get reduced?
Yes, I already included the difficulty reduction.
Okay, that was 2 successes on
Yeah,
the ship.
so you got 2 momentum.
First momentum of the day.
Yeah. So, Rochelle, you're getting telemetry back from the probe, and I don't think you've sent it into the wormhole yet, but the scans you're getting from this side of the wormhole does seem to support the theory that at least this side is stable in nature.
Yes.
We're getting the initial data back from the probe I sent towards the wormhole, and so far, everything on this side appears to be stable.
Excellent. At this point, has the communications relay at DS9 gone through that wormhole?
I don't think it has. I might be wrong.
Because if it does, then we might know how to do that here.
All right, let's do a quick trek check. Pull up Deep Space Nine.
The one that burns open the Celestial Temple or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the Romulans and like one Romulan and a Cardassian helped do it.
Does anyone happen to know what the episode name was called?
No, but I found the article on the actual relay station.
Okay. Does it say which episode it may have been deployed in?
No, but I got the star dates it was active during.
What's the star date?
48543.2 to 50564.2.
So I think, it would have happened at this point.
So, yeah, that actually pretty recently, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know how difficult it would be for us to get something like that going.
I would say it would be something you'd have to mine a little bit more minerals for, but it would be a very simple task to get the raw supplies you needed.
Okay. Well, let's attempt to. The probe can go through the wormhole and possibly be programmed to come back.
It can, yes.
I'd like to go ahead and do that. Maybe we can find out what's on the other side of this wormhole.
All right. Since Matic isn't here to handle probe functionality, Rochelle, if you would roll me either a control plus engineering or a control plus science, and I'm going to say the difficulty here is just going to be 1.
Any aid from the ship, or?
No, this is purely just to get the probe in the right position and sending the correct telemetry.
Okay.
If you'd like, we do have 2 momentum.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if any of my focuses are going to apply.
Ooh, I have an idea. Could we use the 2 momentum to create an advantage that the Bellerophon gave us enough supplies to create a small relay station?
Sure, I'll allow it.
Is that something the rest of the party would like to do?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, so you're back down to 0 momentum, but you certainly have enough supplies now to construct a relay station.
All right, and 2 successes on moving the probe.
All right, so you get 1 momentum back. So the probe goes through the wormhole, and you lose communication with it for probably about 5 minutes. And the probe comes back, and it reports that its location was nearby the Orion homeworld.
Can we scan to see if there has been any warp signatures matching any Orion vessels or configurations?
Sure, that would, let me check. Yes, so this will be after reduction. This would be a difficulty 3 task assisted by the ship. So I'm assuming, Rochelle, you're still the man for this. This would be, I'd say, either insight or reason plus science.
Reason.
And the ship will assist with sensors plus science. Or
Is there a way
sensors
I
plus
could help?
security.
Is there a way I can help? Because one of my talents is Starship's expert.
Um, yeah, if
I
you
wanna
want to
be
help him
my
pour over the
advisor.
data, sure, I'll allow it.
I'm gonna say, Lieutenant Sin. I want to say yellow alert.
Yes, sir. And she presses a button, and the bridge begins to illuminate in that yellow light.
Okay. I'm going to spend that momentum to get a third die for the roll.
Okay.
So since I'm assisting, would my advisory come into play as well?
If you use your command skill, I believe.
Okay. So what do I roll to assist with checking out for Starship?
I would say probably insight plus command or reason plus command. One of the two.
Let's use one of Rosho's talents to re-roll the ship's roll.
Okay, I'll do that.
Cool.
And then it's just 1d20 for me, no focuses. Yeah. No success, damn.
Okay. Well, let's see.
It was even worse the second time.
Yeah, good news is it's not a 20.
Well, we still succeeded.
So,
Did we generate any momentum on that?
unfortunately, no.
Okay.
So, what you're able to pick up is that there is indeed a wide variety of Orion warp trails that seem to come from this wormhole.
I'm detecting heavy traffic from the wormhole, sirs. I'm gonna assume that the Orions know about the wormhole and have been using it extensively.
I think that's a safe assumption. Just for my own knowledge, out of game, where is the Orion homeworld? Is that in the Alpha Quadrant, Beta Quadrant?
Should the Alpha Quadrant?
Let me double check the map just to be extra sure, but I think technically, like the Shackleton Expanse, it's in the Beta Quadrant, but let's see. Yeah, because it's on that side of the space. I'm going to say it's in the Beta Quadrant, and of course, Orion isn't where I thought it would be. Yeah, I'm going to say it's somewhere in the Beta Quadrant. If need be, like after the session, I'll go deep diving and try to find exactly where.
Quite a bit Alpha. It's Alpha Quadrant.
Is it? Okay. Well.
In our maps, it's actually really close to like the center of Federation space.
Let's see. Planet Orion is... Yes, it is indeed in the Orion sector in the Alpha Quadrant. What is it nearby, though? Well, the important thing is we know where it is, more or less.
Okay.
I should draw back that probe before it's detected on the other side, yeah?
Well, it would have already come back if we're getting readings.
Yeah, it's come back through already.
Okay.
Captain, I would like to reach out to the Bellerophon and inform the Admiral that we may have found their beachhead.
Yeah, let me encrypt that message.
Okay.
Roger.
Vulcan or Rigel? Well, chat says that Vulcan, wherever Vulcan is on this map. I'll find out.
Oh yeah, it's pretty it's no big deal. It's okay.
Yeah. We know where it is, basically. Anyways. So yeah, Crowley, you want to reach out to the Bellerophon and the Admiral specifically. Are you going to do this just on the bridge with your little hand console to your right? Or are you going to maybe abscond to your office real fast to have a conversation in private? Or are you going to have it on the main view screen?
I'd like to keep the view screen focused on that wormhole. I'm going to use the side console.
Okay. So the console between you and the captain pops on up, and you're able to establish a direct line to the Admiral. And the Admiral comes on, and she says, Commander Crowley, I hope this is not anything related to the Chameloids.
No, Admiral. This is related to the Orion issue.
Well, I'm all ears.
We may have found a beachhead. They have a stable wormhole from their home system to here.
That's both interesting and alarming, mostly because we haven't detected anything of the sort in their home system before. Are you absolutely sure?
We got probe data we can transfer to you for your own evaluation.
Yes, if you could. And she mutes the stream for a second, and you see her talking with someone off screen, and then she comes back and unmutes it, and she says, "I'm going to take the Bellerophon to the wormhole, and if you and Captain Tahan would bring the Arcadia along, this might be a hasty judgment call, but I'd like to try and collapse this wormhole."
My thoughts exactly.
Admiral,
Yes.
I do understand the danger here, but it could be a valuable resource in further exploration of the Shackleton Expanse to have an entry point from the Alpha Quadrant.
You have a good point, Captain. However, I am concerned that based on the syndicate activity that we've picked up on and the kind that I've briefed you on, leaving this wormhole open so close to our newest outpost screams to me an imminent danger or an imminent threat.
Understood.
All right. Unless any of you has anything else for her, the screen will go dark, and then Ensign Monday will kind of turn in his seat and say, "Sirs, I have the coordinates to follow the Bellerophon along."
What's the ETA on the Bellerophon?
You and the Bellerophon are actually kind of close to one another at the moment. You're in the same sector, or even the same system, Zoatis Prime, if you remember. So you guys, it's in orbit and the Arcadia is not. So you could conceivably leave at the same time as a group if you so wished.
Before the Bellerophon gets here, I'd like to look at this sensor data.
Okay.
Risho, can we make any determinations whether this wormhole is artificial or naturally occurring?
I can certainly see what I can find out, Captain.
Can I assist him?
Yeah, you can assist him. I'm just trying to think what in the world to make this roll.
Science?
Insight and science? Yeah, I could do
I was thinking reason.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Let's make this a reason plus science. The ship can assist with computers plus science.
Okay.
And then Captain, you can assist with reason plus command, maybe?
Okay.
And we'll set the total difficulty at 3.
Would I be able to use my astrophysics focus?
Yes, I'd allow it.
All right, so I'm assisting with a 15. Who would like to roll for the ship?
I'll roll for the ship since Crowley's AFK.
Okay. And then, Risho, since I have advisor, if you'd like to re-roll one of your d20s, you can do that.
Sounds good.
What was the difficulty?
3.
All right.
So that is
What you needed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think re-rolling is a great idea, seeing as it could be worse. So
No, yeah.
All right. So, you're getting the data back, and you have to really take pause as you're looking at the data because what you're getting doesn't really make much sense. An artificial wormhole is something that, again, I'd have to be Trek checked here, but even an artificial wormhole is not something the DS9 crew hasn't done yet. Because there's this whole thing with Trill scientists, and they attempt to, create an artificial wormhole, something of that nature. To put it bluntly, it is not a natural phenomenon based on what you're seeing. It has too regular a pattern of energy emissions, and it's far too stable because, most wormholes, besides, the whole one that the prophets hang out in, are supposed to be unstable. So your conclusion, and of course you can interpret it a different way, but I would think your conclusion to this might be that somehow the Orions have either reinforced an existing wormhole or they've created one of their very own. Either way, it should be disturbing information.
Okay. Because I'm generating question momentum as I do scanner tasks, I would like to know if the if the markings that seem to indicate that this is artificial are similar to the eddies that we've been encountering as well.
In fact, they are. They carry the same sort of emission pattern.
Captain, the wormhole is definitely not completely natural. It does seem as though either the Orions have figured out a way to generate it or to stabilize an existing wormhole that was not stable. Also, it is very similar to the eddies that we've been encountering, the artificial ones, in how it's constructed. So I'm going to assume that the Orions are somehow related to that as well, either the cause or they learned this technique from whatever is the cause.
I'm curious if this has anything to do with aliens like the wormhole aliens of the Bajoran wormhole, but I don't have any data to back that up.
Are there signs of... so Dr. Ruger, was it? On Psi Omega?
Mm-hmm.
Had said he exposed the anomaly, and he exposed an anomaly to exotic exotic particles, he said, right?
Right.
Do we know exactly what exotic particles, or are we picking up exotic particles in this?
You would know exactly what exotic particles.
Are we picking them up in the scan?
You are not.
Okay.
So while a good thought, it does appear that whatever happened on Psi Omega is completely different from what's going on here.
The second thought, do any of the warp-wake trails coincide with any eddies?
Roll me a reason plus science.
Gosh.
And
nice.
I am going to make this difficulty a 3.
Can I order a show to look for this?
You could, but I still think that, well, how do I want to do this? If you order Rasho to do it, Rasho will roll normally, and then you can assist him. How about that?
Okay.
So Rasho, as seems to be your mainstay for this session, you would again be rolling reason plus science. And,
That's what I'm built for.
yeah, Crowley, you would be rolling a... Oh, boy. An attribute of your choice plus command, since you are doing the order.
Control command?
I'd allow it, sure.
Okay. So I'm, again, using the scanners, yeah?
You are, yes.
Alright, cool.
No focuses. Does advisory come into play? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you got what you needed. So, I mean, unless you really wanted to re-roll, but...
No, that's good.
Yeah. Alright, so with the 3 successes, between...
Ooh, does the ship assist as well?
No, I'm not going to say for this. It's not going to help you. This is
All right.
more of a analyzing the data rather than getting the computer to generate it for you. Anyway, between the two of you working together, you're able to discern that there is a specific warp trail that coincides with the formation of eddies, almost like the artificial eddies are forming in this ship's wake.
Nothing we've come across before?
Yeah, the power signature, while you are able to pinpoint it is Orion in origin, they shouldn't have that sort of technology or power signature.
Does it seem like a new propulsion system that we haven't encountered before?
It does, yes.
Okay.
I want to know something. Can we contact, because the Orion space should be close enough to contact a Federation time satellite somewhere. What was the time on the other side of this wormhole?
It was 20 minutes ahead of your time.
Okay, so it's not like 20 years into the future.
Oh, no. Just 20 minutes.
Okay.
So there's still some time travel going on here, but it's very minute.
If we only had a Conton scanner.
Somewhere Matic is going, I told you!
Can I find out if the warp trail of this ship has entered or left the wormhole?
I'll give it to you that it has been seen going both in and out of the wormhole.
The most recent one, though, being...
It has come out of.
Alright. I get the security teams on standby for any possible boarding. I also alert medical for injuries. I'm just getting everyone prepared.
Sin looks up to you and says, should I simply just go to red alert, sir?
No, if they're watching us, they know we are aware and suspicious, but if we go to red alert, they will assume we know.
Of course, sir. And it's at this moment that Admiral Haru hails you all once again. And Sin kind of looks back and says, should I put it on the main view screen, sir?
Yes.
All right, so main view screen turns on, you see Admiral Haru, and she says, well, I just want to make sure that our scanners are working the same as yours. What have you found out about this wormhole, gentlemen?
It appears to be stable, not entirely natural, but the other side is about 20 minutes into the future relative to us.
A bit of at a crossroads here. On one hand, I still firmly believe that having this sort of a wormhole close to our new outpost is a problem. However, there is quite a bit of scientific potential here if we can figure out how they did this.
Admiral, perhaps there's also some political potential here as well.
I'm listening.
The Orions have developed something that we would like. Perhaps this could work towards an improvement in relations between ourselves and the Orion.
She thinks really long and hard on this. And she replies, I'm not quite sure what we could offer the Syndicate at this point. I feel like that the Syndicate is going to just continue doing its own thing no matter what we offer them.
They also seem to have a vessel that causes these eddies when it traverses to and from.
Well, that's a vote in my corner to close the wormhole. Do you have a signature for this ship in question?
I looked at the captain, like, it's all right if I send the data over?
Yes. Perhaps we want to find out more about this vessel, though, before we close the wormhole. It could provide some insight into the advances that they've been making.
Agreed. Here's what we'll do, gentlemen. The Bellerophon will remain on station here at the wormhole. In the meantime, I'd like the Arcadia to investigate this unknown vessel and either bring it back to the wormhole so it can be sent back where it came from, or if the situation calls for it, you have my authority and blessing to destroy it if the situation calls for it.
Understood. Ensign Risha, let's begin tracking this ship.
Captain.
So, instead of having you guys roll like a difficulty 5 task here with no momentum, I'm going to give this to you free. Risho, you remember that area of space in the Expanse I told you about before?
I believe I found records of something similar to the Badlands.
Yep. The shoals, quote unquote.
Yes.
It seems that the ship in question is headed in that direction.
All right, I will bring that up on our star charts and point it out and describe the, you know, difficult features that it has.
Okay. So for the uninitiated, like he said, it is very similar to the Badlands, in that there's just a whole lot of bad juju going around in this particular area of space. It's nothing you can't handle, but it would provide a bit of a disadvantage if you're looking for a particular ship, even with your enhanced sensors.
Would our new coat of chrome protect us from a lot of the dangers in there? Or?
I would say some, but not all.
Okay.
Perhaps we can use this area to hide ourselves while we monitor the vessel, and perhaps use it as a trap for whenever they return back to the wormhole, rather than venture far into the shoals where we don't know what we're doing.
Well, we could certainly send probes into the shoals and see if we can detect the ship, but obviously the best scanners that we have available are on the Arcadia itself, so it's up to you, Captain.
Well, let's enter the shoals for now, and we can reassess before going deeper.
All right. So, you give the order to Monday, and Monday begins to set a course. To get to the shoals, it'll probably take you guys somewhere close to a week, simply because, it's a fair distance away, and unless you want to go at, like, maximum warp, it's just going to take a week. So, I guess the operative question here is, do you go maximum warp or do you not?
I mean, isn't our cruising speed pretty high anyways? Like, pretty close to our maximal?
Your normal cruising, like the Federation approved cruising speed at this current juncture in time is warp 5 is the quote-unquote maximum. But it is Captain's discretion to go above warp 5. And the Arcadia is capable of warp 8.
How much time would we save by warp 6?
If I remember the calculations correctly, about a day and a half.
Okay. We'll just do 5.
Okay. So yeah, it'll take you a week to get out there. In which case, I'll leave it again open. There's a week for you guys to pretty much do anything you want on the ship. But since people do have to go here in a couple minutes, let's wrap it up here. Stick around, guys, for after stream stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and kill the stream. Just as a heads up, I don't currently know, and this is something I'm going to talk with these guys afterwards. We may or may not be meeting next week, or we may just simply have a few bye weeks. Just watch Twitter or watch Twitch announcements, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.